Good morning, good morning, good morning. Diane, were you able to get in? Why do you always get kicked out? I mean, I get these messages, I got kicked out. Why do you get kicked out? Oh, computer programs. My God. All right. Good morning, folks. How are you? I am your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on Voice of RuralAmerica.com. Good morning, Diane. In our top story this morning, the albino rhino, Brant Frost V, is still the chairman of Coweta County Republican Party in Georgia. When asked why he has not resigned yet, Mr. Frost replied, well, we don't have his reply. Anyhow. Our second top story, the Ukrainian runt Vladimir Zelensky is still crying because he has not been invited to Anchorage, Alaska, where President Donald J. Trump and Russian President Vladimir Zelensky will meet later this week on Friday. When Putin was asked why is Zelensky not invited, he said he lost. He's not welcome. I don't know what he said. And last, our last top story this morning is a crime wave crossing the nation. Number 86, Diane, if you could put this up. A crime wave from coast to coast crossing the nation has most liberal wackos upset. What the hell is a Labubu? Labubu thefts rise as collectible grows more popular. So there you go. What other show could you tune into that starts out with a Ukrainian runt, an albino rhino, and a Labubu? Can't do it. Take that down. All right, folks, I'm your host, BKP. Good morning. We have a lot to go over. I don't like a political stunt. I can't stand a political stunt. And so I have been watching the entire redistricting thing go on in Texas. I've been watching the entire thing. And this morning, I have to say thank you, Texas. Thank you, Texas. It's not about the 5 seats in Texas. So we'll go over that. At first I was thinking, what's the big deal? 5 seats down there in Texas. How come people are missing the big picture? But I don't think that's the case now. I think the door is wide open for the big picture. So thank you, Texas. Now, yesterday, as you know, number 85, President Trump has dispatched the White House cracks down on homeless people in D.C. And they're trying to figure out, the deep state, corporate, corrupt media, how to handle this, because the reporters, the liberal reporters in D.C. for all these liberal networks and media outlets, reporters from around the world that cover D.C., staff that work in the White House, even the staff that work for Democrats. I mean, even Jasmine Crockett's staff deserves to be safe. Wow. Right. But AOC, everyone's staff that works at the White House coming and going, all of these little young mushes, their brains, political lefties and righties and whatever they are walking around, they're all whispering that they're not really upset with this. Not really. We played yesterday for you, and we're gonna go into detail with this. We're gonna go into detail, but we played yesterday. Give me number 50, Diane. We played this right here on the show. This is from the Post, the New York Post this morning. Right here, MSNBC Joe Scarborough reveals D.C. journalists privately shared concerns about crime while publicly denouncing Trump's plan. Now, there's one thing, and I want to wait till I do a full segment on this, because I want to talk about the homeless also. But on this program yesterday, I told you, the people in these cities, all right? And I was not being racist. I was talking, you could talk racial without being racist. And I said, when you start talking to the black people that live, the community people, that there's so many in our cities. They're amazing people. They're community leaders. They might not be Republicans. They might not be conservatives, but they're community leaders that are trying to save their community, and this is what they want done. And I said, wait till inside these communities they start seeing a change. What happens? We have that for you also. So that being said, at 10 o'clock we have the Georgia Hour. We have the Georgia Hour at 10 o'clock every morning here. You go ahead and take that down, because I want to talk about the homeless, and I want to talk about D.C. and what's next in this country. Inflation did not tick up at the rate they thought it would yesterday. They're all trying to figure out, because when Trump, I'm going to show you the difference where Trump's concerned and Congress is concerned. I'm going to make it very clear in just a minute. I'm not just leaving something hanging out there. I'm going to make it very clear. Because there's what the president can do and what he has to have come from Congress to make happen are two different things. And we're going to show you the results of those two different things. Let me get out of the way on that. That being said, so inflation did not tick up. We were right here when the first tariffs everything was going to collapse, recession, stock market, everything was going to collapse. They're struggling with, okay, what happened to that? They never report or go back and correct their reporting. They're upset that Trump fired the Bureau of Labor Statistics, right? Because every month those numbers are totally wrong. But what if the same standards applied to these news outlets that every day they're wrong, but they never come back and correct any of their reporting? Never. So that being said, all right. So in Georgia, the Georgia Hour, I'm going to do this once again in Georgia, but I want to say we're not counting Derek Dooley out because has a lot of money. He's running for Senate. Brian Kemp has him in. He's running for Senate in Georgia. He's had a bad week. Just a really bad week. He launched last week. It did not take off. They're working with him. He's got plenty of time. That's why. But I think this is absolutely, you cannot make this up. Give me, Mike Collins has actually come out of the box, the congressman from the 10th district, and he is just really, his campaign right now is flawless. Mike Collins' campaign right now is absolutely flawless. Give me number 73. He's running for Congress right here. Mike Collins has his ground game. It was ready. He's been ready. The guy knows how to plow forward. He's got Mike Collins, U.S. Senate. This guy has 2 signs to go home to put in his yard. He's hitting every GOP. He's got his signs loaded up, and he's getting the grassroots of the state, getting his signs out all across the state. I mean, he's ready to go. Now, number 79, this is actually, I want to do this because it is just funny. It is just really, really funny. Now, the AJC this morning, Derek Dooley, former head football coach, dueling videos. So he comes out and he puts this video out, and he's trying to use his coaching experience and his coaching pep talks. All right. In coaching, we have a saying, your film is your resume. Okay. One look at Jon Ossoff's film shows he doesn't represent Georgia. So this guy, he's the candidate. Your film is your resume. We have a saying. So give me video 20. Watch this very close. Video 20.
Good morning. Had a great day in Savannah yesterday, and we're heading down the road to Statesboro. And a lot of these meetings get asked the same question. How are we going to get this seat back? What's it going to take to beat Jon Ossoff? And my first answer is simple. Just watch the tape. Watch the film. We have an old saying in football, and it applies to players and coaches. I've learned this the hard way and the good way, that your film is your resume. Your film's your resume. And what does that mean? Like a player comes in and he says, Coach, I'm bigger, I'm faster, I'm stronger. I don't understand why I'm not playing. I'm better than this other guy. And we go, oh, are you? Well, let's sit down and watch the tape. And we turn it on, and here you are getting beat, and here's the other guy doing pretty good. Because the eye in the sky doesn't lie. And we have that same eye on Jon Ossoff. We have a 4-year record of everything the Biden administration did, and he sat there and rubber stamped it. Crickets. Didn't say a word. Whether it was the lawlessness that was happening in our cities, not backing law and order, whether it was pouring the border open with millions of unchecked illegal immigrants wreaking havoc on our communities, whether it was supporting pumping trillions of dollars into our economy, and now we're dealt with all this inflation for several years, failing to protect women's sports, a laundry list of things. And now there's even more film on total resistance to everything the Trump administration is trying to do to create progress. For example, voted to raise taxes for every American family by $2,500. Whether it was voting to give taxpayer-funded health care to illegal immigrants, whether it was voting against border funding. All right, the list, the hits, they keep coming. Let me tell you, though, he's a typical politician. And so he's going to say a bunch of things. He's going to sound good. He's going to tweet out things. But never forget, your actions speak so loudly, I can't hear what you say.
All right, so keep in mind this guy, head coach at Tennessee LSU game. So let's go over a couple of the highlights. Watch the tape. Okay, he's asked us to watch the tape. The film is your resume. Okay. The film shows you getting beat. The eye in the sky does not lie. So this guy comes on and says, we have a saying, watch the tape. The film is your resume. The film shows you getting beat. The eye in the sky doesn't lie. So let's look at the film. Video 21.
Can you believe it?
Illegal participation on the defense.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
This game is not over. Jefferson will go under center in a wild end here in Baton Rouge. Pitch, Ridley. Touchdown! LSU! A miracle! A miracle in Baton Rouge!
Derek Dooley, head coach at Tennessee, up there. A little too much orange for me here in Georgia. Go Dogs, right? Derek Dooley up there at Tennessee, head coach. 13 men on the field, right? 13 men on the field, lost the game. So now let's check that off one more time. Just watch the tape. We did. Film is your resume. Woo! Getting beat. The film shows you getting beat, and the eye in the sky doesn't lie. Now, keep in mind, this guy right here, he is going to try to run against Ossoff on a daily basis. Mike Collins is going to wear him out, just flat wear the old boy out all across the state. He's going to do it. Now, don't count him out. Got a lot of money. He's endorsed by Brian Kemp. He's endorsed by Debbie Dooley, if you know who that is. So don't count him out. But I'm just telling you, right, this is a guy talking about John Ossoff. This guy never, that we're aware of, never voted for Donald Trump. This guy's never give $1 to Donald Trump. This guy's only contribution politically is $5,500 to Brian Kemp. But he says he's going to go to D.C. and support Donald Trump. Just saying. All right. So there, I had to do that. I just watched the tape. Just watched the tape. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. I want to talk about redistricting. I want to talk about this right here. Give me this one right here, 74. Just the news. And I'm very serious, okay? Because I have 2 hours a day here, and then we have 1 hour that we discuss Georgia. We try to open up the dialogue. We try to ask questions. We try to open the conversation up. We don't have time to do every single story. I don't want to bypass the narrative, the corrupt narrative that's being spun out there for your neighbor to hear that you can correct in a polite way. Just the news. John Solomon, this is the amazing reporting that's going on over there. We could be very close to people getting indicted, people going to prison. This is very close. We'll talk about this a little more in the program. Let me make sure up here as we start. Go ahead and take that down. Diane, give me, not going to have time for that one. We'll look at that one a little later in the show. I'll have to prepare everything as we go forward. All right, so we're going to come back and talk about, how about this right here? Give me 99. We're going to talk about mental health in schools today. Want to talk about that one just a little bit, right? The mental health, Illinois' mental health screening for students. Now, here's what I want to know, because in the Georgia Hour, I want to talk about it. If your county out there, and if you're in another state from sea to shining sea, and this is happening in your backyard, please let me know, because I'll be glad to bring it up. We have to talk about it. If you're listening in Georgia this morning, if your county or your Board of Education opted out, is it HB 581, Diane? Do I have that correct? Is it SB or HB? I think it's HB 5. HB 5. If your county opted out of HB 581 that addresses property tax, if the county or your Board of Education opted out, and now I want to know if they opted out, and now they're turning around and after opting out, increasing your, whether it be your Board of Education property taxes or your county property taxes, like Walton County, Gilmer County, others. If you're out there, I want to talk about that today at 10 o'clock in the Georgia Hour. We are tired. All right, let me just say this before we get to the Georgia Hour. Right now, we don't have, I don't know of a politician right now that has stepped up in the state of Georgia to run for office that has an original thought. And I say that. This is going to sound ugly, but everybody keeps stepping up and saying, we're going to end state income tax. That's what I keep hearing, right? David Clark announced yesterday he's running for lieutenant governor. We're going to abolish state income. Okay. That's great. Glad to hear it. Let me look you now and tell you something. If the state will use a round number, very round, but if the state brought in $20 billion in tax revenue last year in the state of Georgia, they plan to bring in $20 billion maybe plus in the upcoming year and the next year and the next year. So you're in a state that in 4 years has increased spending by $10 billion. And how in the world would they end state income tax, maintain current levels of revenue that they're bringing in from you and I, the people? How would they do that? So however they get it, so here's my prediction, because I am so tired of this. Here is exactly my prediction in the state of Georgia. If you paid $2,000, we'll call it $2,000 in state income tax last year, when they eliminate it, somehow they'll probably get $2,200 from you. And then there'll be a group of people that cheer once again. I get so tired of that BS, so tired of it. All right, so we're going to go to break. We're going to come back, talk about redistricting. You remember yesterday? I showed you this guy's picture, number 83, Pritzker in Illinois, right? Oh, Diane, can you put that picture back? I never put back. Do you remember the one you just? If you don't, that's okay. This is the governor of Illinois, Pritzker. They passed a law in Illinois. All right, 99. This guy here, we're going to talk about in a minute. Illinois mandates mental health screening for students. That's a law. And there was a report this morning on it. We're going to talk about that when we return. So let's take a break, and we'll come back and talk about crime in D.C. How about that? Take a break.
Days Chevrolet in Jasper, we're proud because for more than 65 years, we've built a legacy of trust for the families we serve. That's why 80% of our business comes from repeat customers and referrals. When you treat folks as well as we do, word is bound to get around. Days Chevrolet in Jasper, family first since 1959. Days Chevrolet, Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCar Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender. We take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
You remember back when a Republican would look at you and make a campaign promise not to raise taxes? You remember that? You remember when a Republican would look at you and promise not to raise taxes, and then if they raise taxes, you kicked them out of office? What was that whole thing called? Read my lips, no new taxes. You remember when read my lips, no new taxes? You remember read my lips, no new taxes meant if you raise taxes, you were out, you're gone. Remember that? I was just wondering. Oh, by the way, that would be a Republican. If you looked, this one's going to really get me in trouble because I don't have the data. I don't have the data to back this up. But if you look from sea to shining sea at whether it be Board of Education, City Council, whether it's the smallest city council in the United States or because a lot of these really small cities, for example, Blue Ridge, where they pretend they're all Republicans, LJ, East LJ, I'm just throwing some out, right? Cleveland, Georgia, over here in White County, Dahlonega. I'm just throwing some names out in North Georgia. But when you get into these little cities, they're nonpartisan. Elections, but the people present themselves as Republicans. So if you go from sea to shining sea across America to every little city, Board of Education, and county, all right, and state, but we'll leave it there on the local level, the majority of taxes that have been raised on any level have come from Republicans. Do you need to hear that again? Wait a minute. I think I do have to correct myself there, Diane. If you go to any small city in the United States or anything, right, Board of Education, County Commission across the United States, the majority of taxes that have been raised by people that identify as Republicans. There you go. That's better. I almost called them Republicans earlier. That would be me. I don't know. How do you identify? I would like to know from these Republicans, what the hell is your pronoun? Oh my God, how do I get strung out on this? I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Good morning, Diane. I hope you're doing well. Diane got kicked out. They kicked her out. I'm just having fun. I was laughing. You heard that. So, Diane, I know you had an eventful night last night. We're not going to talk about that right now. You make me nervous. Don't chime in yet. I've got to, you can, in the Georgia hour, if you feel your chimer go off, then that would be different, okay? But please.
Oh, well, the video I sent you, I need you to listen to it when you have a moment, because I don't quite understand it, so.
Okay. All right. During the break, I always have work to do during the break. There you go. More work. So let's look at some of the graphics on Washington, D.C. Now, I have a question. And I like to ask a question. Are you okay? Here's the question. Are you okay with Trump, the president of the United States, dispatching National Guard to D.C., any other city? Are you okay with the president of the United States using our military this way on our soil? Are you okay with it? Are you concerned? Are you concerned? These are tests. I'm just putting it out there as a question, all right? Are you concerned that LA, DC, and what could go further is a test in how to handle civil unrest? Do you have that concern? Now, we have gotten to a point, and let me show you a couple graphics this morning. Remember number 44, we talked about this yesterday, Times Square. We'll go to New York. We'll talk about Philadelphia in a minute, but look here, number 44, Times Square is right back to the old days. All right. Number 45, street fight. Number 45. And President Trump has, put out D.C. mayor dramatically changes tune on Trump city takeover. Now, last night there was a Zoom meeting, and I think Democrats across the country, whether it's Mayor Bass, the mayor of Chicago, or Democrats across the country, called Mayor Bowser in D.C. and said, no, you got to push back. If you keep putting up a front of cooperating with Trump, that's not going to look good for us. You got to push back, right? So she's doing a little pushback. We'll look at that in a minute. Number 48. We'll look at a couple of these graphics. This is the New York Times. I think this is the New York Times. That Marion Bowser, is that her name? Changing her tone, the mayor of Washington condemns Trump's deployment of the National Guard. Mariel, right? Mariel, that's her name. Mayor Mariel Bowser of Washington on Tuesday night criticized President Trump's decision to deploy the D.C. National Guard as an authoritarian push. Now, so 49, showing up for duty. We talked about this earlier. National Guard takes the streets of D.C. in support of Trump's crime crackdown. And then we have number 50 yesterday. This came from the New York Post. Also, yesterday morning, we played the video where Joe Scarborough said he read the text he got from a very liberal, he explained it, journalist, like they're very confused. I'm not for sure exactly what to think about this, okay? This is from the UK. Is it the UK Telegraph, number 59? Trump planning new military unit. All right. I asked you this question. Trump planning new military unit for rapidly crush civil unrest. This is in the Telegraph, number 60. Revealed Trump planning new military unit to rapidly crush civil unrest. Proposal for 600 National Guard troops stationed across Alabama, Arizona bases to be deployed in short notice. So I asked you that. How do you see this? Now, one of the things that I said yesterday, I'm fine with this. And do I have a concern? Absolutely. Absolutely, I have concern. Yes, I do. Do I like the fact that we have military going down the streets of our cities? No, I don't like it at all. Nothing about it. But what do we do? What do we do? There's no spending. You can't spend more money. All right. This is a lie. We know that this right here, 81, yesterday, this was the attempt yesterday, okay? Right here. Violent crime is down, robbery is down, sex abuse is down. They only have one major problem with trying to run this narrative. We know that everything the government is handling at this time when it comes to data is false. We know that. Because just like how you felt going into the 2024 election with Joe Biden, remember every single day that was the greatest economy in the world. The world could not think in any way whatsoever you would replace Joe Biden with Trump when you had Kamala Harris available, and they would have the charts and the graphs and show you this is the most amazing economy in the world. We know that all data coming from government agencies is incorrect. We know that. We don't sit around waiting for jobs reports. We don't sit around waiting for inflation. Now, we know the manipulation that's being used with that data. But you see, this was the original turn that they were going to try to move. But they had a major problem with that's really not how people feel. It's not. If you're afraid to go to the train station in D.C., right, and you run because you're afraid, no one is going to stop you and say, robbery's down 28%. You don't need to run. Oh, okay. No, you're still running for the train. Give me video. Give me video 17. Listen to this guy before I double back. Video 17.
CNBC's Karen Gilchrist live from London. Thank you very much. Remember, those tariffs are a sales tax if they start getting passed on to consumers, which businesses are starting to say they're going to have to at some point.
Is that video 17? Is that 17? Damn.
Yeah, that's 17.
That's not the one I wanted. Huh.
You may want 16. It's a same lady with the black guy.
Yeah, that's what I want, 16.
Is interesting. You're pointing out to areas of the city where there are types of crime in DC that we don't see in other big cities, and that Democrats must make sure they don't get caught red-footed not addressing what is a real problem here.
That's right. There is a real problem here, but what we are seeing in Washington is a disproportionate response to that problem, Caddy. You know, I'm a DC resident, so this is personal, but there is a real sense in Washington, particularly when you talk to residents who want to walk through Union Station. There's some skittishness there. frequently. They're also, people are nervous about going down to the Washington waterfront from time to time because of smash and grabs that we see happening throughout the city. And these are not just random anecdotes, Katty K. What we have seen in recent polling from the Washington Post is that 50% of Washington residents, as of May, believe that the crime in the issue is a very serious problem or extremely serious problem. And so the question then becomes, what do you do about it? And what we know the president is doing.
See, they're jumbled all up on every single network because this guy right here, it is a problem. We are concerned. We're not supposed to be on this network thanking President Trump, but we are thanking him, but we can't validate what he's doing is okay. They are totally tied up in a mess, in knots, on how to handle this reporting. 85, White House cracks down on homeless people in D.C. So we're going to talk about the homeless in just a moment. And so go ahead and give me, I have a couple more here I want to show you before I go to some of the other. Give me 109. Now, Marion Bowser, and not to go, the mayor of D.C., Pam Bondi is now in charge. She's the attorney general. Now, bottom line, top cop in the entire United States is the attorney general. Top cop in your district is your district attorney. Your top cop's your district attorney. Your district attorney has a badge. She actually has a badge. She's the attorney general of the United States. That is the top cop. That's why we don't understand why top cop over there will not arrest anybody, because she could. She has that authority. That being said, the authority of D.C. has been placed under the Department of Justice. Now, we do have, because of the District of Columbia, there are different authority that the federal government can exercise over the city of D.C. So Marion Bowser has no choice, all right, to work with Pam Bondi, especially for 30 days. The President of the United States can do this just for 30 days. But 110, she starts getting pushback. Now, she doesn't care if it's making districts or going to help districts in her city or what they call wards, the 10th ward or whatever, or block. That's irrelevant to her if people feel safe. So, video 3, MSNBC's opening this morning.
We don't live in a dirty city. We are not 700,000 scumbags and punks. I'm also really ticked off about the intrusion on the district's autonomy and the characterization of the good work that we do in this city to make it beautiful, to have excellent services.
Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser last night defending her city amid the deployment of National Guard troops by President Trump. The question is, what will the soldiers be doing while they're in the nation's?
So she's upset. They're not scumbags. They're not. I mean, I don't appreciate that. So video 4, a little more detail on Marion Bowser, the Mayor Bowser of D.C., video 4.
My jobs are many right now, and part of it is just practically managing us through this crisis. But I'm also really ticked off about the intrusion on the district's autonomy and the characterization of the good work that we do in this city to make it beautiful, to have excellent services, to attract millions of tourists to have a growing school system, to have a growing city with new residents showing up every day. So that's the real Washington, and I'm counting on you to make sure the world knows that as well.
The Trump.
Okay, so the good work. Everything is great. It's beautiful. It's immaculate. But wait a minute. Remember yesterday, I told you this. I told you this yesterday. Once they got in, we have the tape. I told you once it gets into certain areas of these cities, or let's start with Washington, D.C., you will start hearing the thank you from community leaders. Whether you know it or not, all of these deteriorated cities, I mean, they're just totally gone. We have areas inside of all of them, Chicago, Atlanta, every single one. They have no services. She could talk about services. There's areas in cities, and I don't want to be specific, in the United States where an ambulance doesn't go in. They just don't. What? Yeah, so you call an ambulance, they don't go in. Police don't go in, and I'm not knocking the police. There's services that don't go into some of these areas. Period. They're deteriorated. They're gone. And there's people that has lived there their whole life that they don't want to lose their neighborhoods. They want a store where they can shop, not a liquor store. They want a store where they can get their prescriptions, not a drugstore where somebody robs it to the point that they can't get deodorant because it's behind plexiglass and and toothpaste, and somebody has to open it up for you to purchase it. These are poor people in these neighborhoods that if you're paying $2, now don't attack me that I don't know my prices, but if you're paying $2 for a tube of toothpaste, they're paying $4 for the same tube of toothpaste because the companies have to endure the cost of the plexiglass, somebody unlocking it, the level of theft, whatever it may be. But these people like this mayor, they have no concern for that. But here is what, give me this right here, video 6, CNN.
I think this is long overdue. I've been wanting the National Guards in this area for years. I like it. I love it. I feel safe already.
Longtime D.C. resident and community advocate Sandra Seegers is welcoming President Donald Trump's law enforcement and National Guard surge in the nation's capital because of the crime she sees in her neighborhood, much of which she says goes unaddressed and causes her to live in fear.
I'm going to wait a while and listen for sirens or more shooting or running. Then I come to the door and see what's going on.
Seegers is one of 2 community leaders we spoke to in Southeast D.C.'s Ward 8, one of the city's areas hardest hit by crime and poverty.
Children can't be children anymore. Now they're running and playing. It looks like the police might be coming next or somebody chasing them. So this is how bad it is.
On Monday night, according to the White House, 850 officers and agents dispatched by Trump from federal agencies like the FBI were out patrolling D.C. streets, making 23 arrests.
These arrests consisted of homicide, firearms offenses, possession with intent to distribute narcotics, fare evasion, lewd acts, stalking, driving under the influence, reckless driving, and a bench warrant.
And Trump has called up about 800 National Guard troops who began.
Now, why does that old lady have to live in fear? Why? Why in America does that old lady living in her neighborhood have to live in fear? Why? She says this is long overdue. Why can't children be children and play? Right? No, that's not how they see it. Now, here is their concern right here is, and I want it to keep going. I am right here on the bubble like, okay, this is where we're at in America, that we have to send these troops in. You cannot continue to elect Democrats. You can't continue to elect these people. You can't send more money in. You can't say we're increasing the budget in this area. You cannot do that and solve any of these problems. It's just pure action that we have to take, whether it's a military or what. Or just give me video 5. Here's the concern, video 5.
The quick answer would be he wants to send the message to cities that if he can get away with this in Los Angeles, if he can get away with this in DC, he can get away with it in New York or Baltimore or Chicago. It is a step in fascism when the federal government can Bigfoot sovereign states.
Sovereign states. Sovereign states. If he could get away with it in LA and if he can get away with it in DC, all right, that's why they've got Savannah Mayor. Give me Savannah Mayor video 19 while I look for a graphic. Video 19, Savannah, Georgia.
This now, Van R. Johnson, the mayor of Savannah, Georgia. Mayor, thanks so much for being with us. The president's authority in Washington, D.C. is different than in other cities around the country. But be that as it may, I am curious what your initial reaction was when you heard the scope of what he's doing in Washington.
Well, good morning, and thank you so much for the opportunity. I was absolutely shocked. I mean, where is this coming from? I mean, where are the facts coming from? I think you pointed out very correctly that Washington, D.C. has reached a historic 30-year low in violent crime. Certainly many of the mayors of the African American Mayors Association, of which I'm the president, have seen historic decreases in violent crime across the country. I think that Mayor Bowser has been doing a phenomenal job, her and her team, addressing these issues in our nation's capital. And so we were just wondering, why this and why now?
As you mentioned, you are the president of the African American Mayors Association, some 500 mayors.
I'm sorry, if you're the president of the African American Mayors Association in America, you have failed. Mayor Bowser has failed in D.C. You have failed your constituents because we have this old lady, right? This old lady that's saying in Savannah, you're no different. Why does she have to live in fear? Why can't children be children? This is all across the United States, the deterioration of inner cities where these people cannot live in their communities without the fear of crime. If someone in the community, if a child gets killed in one of these communities, sir, we don't run to the statistics and see, well, that did not tick up. A child got killed. So this lady here, give me 117. Now, my question yesterday is 116, the homeless. And here's what I understand. The homeless have to move. They're cleaning them out. They can go to a shelter. All right. They can go to. They can go get help at a clinic. They can seek treatment. Okay. Or they go to jail. It seems to me, give me number 115, it seems a little bit cruel to just start moving the homeless, but it's actually, it's cruel that they are homeless and living in tents for multiple reasons. Whether they're veterans, whether they have mental illness, they don't have medication. They don't have health care. They can't get treatment. So not my hope, my prayer, my true prayer is that we continue with this and that these people do get help. All right. they get help. There is no reason in 2025 that in America someone's sleeping on the streets. It's just, to me, it's not. It's not well, that's their own fault. Okay, 114. Now, the drugs. Hopefully, this will make a push to clean up the drugs in these cities. Give me video 7. Here is a citizen from Washington, D.C. that wants them to go a little further. Video 7.
Community activist and researcher Joy Doyle, also from D.C.'s Ward 8, is in favor of the increased law enforcement presence, but says it has to go deeper, that the intervention can't come just when violent crimes occur.
We are not understanding why the property owners who rent to whomever these people are, that are demonstrating open-air drug markets on these properties, why are they not being held accountable?
So far, the White House is saying this surge could last up to 30 days.
Right? They wanted to go further. These neighborhoods, they want them cleaned up. The mayor of Philadelphia cannot spell Eagles. All right? Give me number 35, the homeless, 35, 36. When you get there. This is Kensington Avenue, 35, 36, and then hit 37. 35, 36, 37, right? Give me 38. Open air drug areas and markets exist in several American cities. Philadelphia, San Francisco, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, South Bronx, Washington, D.C., open air drug markets. So, look, let me go with this right here. So I asked you earlier, and give me number 68, Diane. In 2024, homelessness in the United States reached a record high, with an estimated 771,480 people experiencing homelessness on a single night. According to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, this represents an 18% increase compared to the previous year. Several factors have contributed to this surge, including rising housing cost, inflation, and the influx of migrants. Now, let me just say something, and I'll get out. In your small community, because I already know the answer in my small community. In your small community that you never in the past heard of someone being homeless, is someone homeless? In your nice, beautiful tourist community, did someone sleep on a park picnic table last night or under one in America? People can't afford to pay all the bills, the utilities, the rent, everything. They can't. I mean, so between mental health, drug, inflation, what has happened in this country, we are looking at record homelessness in America. You can't just pick up the tents and say, move across town. So, Washington, D.C., my hope, my true hope is in Washington, D.C., is that, yes, We clean the city up. But please, President Donald J. Trump, do the entire job. I don't care about the mayor. I don't care what anybody thinks. Do the entire job. Do the job for the children. Do the job for the old lady that was standing there that says she lives in fear. Do the job for the community activist, the lady that said, we've got these open-air drug markets. And then, yes, move on to Baltimore. Go ahead. It's right down the road. Move on to Philadelphia. Move on to Gary, Indiana. Move on to Detroit. Move on to Chicago. That's a tough question. Are you okay with the military going into these cities and cleaning them up? What say you? All right, we're going to come back. I want to talk about Putin and Trump meeting and Alaska Friday, and then I want to talk about the redistricting. Take a break.
At Days Chevrolet in Jasper, we're proud because for more than 65 years, we've built a legacy of trust for the families we serve. That's why 80% of our business comes from repeat customers and referrals. When you treat folks as well as we do, word is bound to get around. Days Chevrolet in Jasper, family first since 1959. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCar Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
Folks, I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Thank you so much. Good morning, Diane. Thank you so much. Diane, the mayor of Savannah, video 19. Can you cue that back up? I don't know what you got to do to start that again. I want to play that for a reason, the mayor of Savannah, one more time, video 19.
This now, Van R. Johnson, the mayor of Savannah, Georgia. Mayor, thanks so much for being with us. The president's authority in Washington, D.C. is different than in other cities around the country. But be that as it may, I am curious what your initial reaction was when you heard the scope of what he's doing in Washington.
Well, good morning, and thank you so much for the opportunity. I was absolutely shocked. I mean, where is this coming from? I mean, where are the facts coming from? I think you pointed out very correctly that Washington, D.C. has reached a historic 30-year low in violent crime. Certainly many of the mayors of the African American Mayors Association, of which I'm the president, have seen historic decreases in violent crime across the country. I think that Mayor Bowser has been doing a phenomenal job, her and her team, addressing these issues in our nation's capital. And so we were just wondering, why this and why now?
As you mentioned, you are the president of the African American Mayors Association, some 500 mayors.
So Savannah, Georgia, they go in, CNN, to Savannah, Georgia, to talk to Mayor Johnson there, right? Is that his name? The president of the African American Mayors Association, right? And they talk about DC. Thank you very much. You viewer sent me this. Police data, Savannah, Georgia, 2024. You ready? Police data, Savannah, Georgia, 2024's murder rate 3 times higher than it was this time in 2023. Savannah residents, I get messages, Savannah residents will not go downtown at night. Only 6 homicides were recorded at this point last year. There have been 18 already in 2024. 6 months into the calendar year, the city of Savannah in 2024 homicide rate is 3 times higher than it was mid-year in 2023. Right? Mid-year in 2023. Here is another one. Is Savannah more dangerous than Atlanta? Yes, according to the latest numbers. So they go and they get the mayor of Savannah, who is the president of the African American Mayors Association, 500 mayors, as, I don't know, the data shows Washington, D.C. violent crime is down 30%. You can't make this up, the manipulation and the deep state corporate corrupt media. Thank you out there for helping catch this and bring light to it. Now, redistricting. So we've talked about it, and we got to get into the what's happening up there in Alaska Friday, but redistricting. So let's see, where's that at? Let's go with video 18.
Illinois, they might as well start voting in Illinois.
Well, let me ask you just this final question, sir, as a bigger picture item, which is, what's unusual about this is that you're attempting to do it in 2025 as opposed to waiting till the end of the decade, as normally is when the redistricting takes place. You've explained the Supreme Court decision that led you to do this. But what's going on, obviously, is not happening in Texas, is not happening in a vacuum. We have Democrats in California and New York and other states saying, well, if Governor Abbott does this in Texas, we're going to add 5 Democratic seats. Are you not worried at all about a redistricting, gerrymandering arms race going on? And theoretically, is it not just better for voters to be picking their politicians instead of politicians to be picking their voters through gerrymandering?
Well, to be clear, listen, all those big blue states, they've already gerrymandered. Look at the map of Illinois. Look at the map of California, New York, and Massachusetts, and so many other blue states. They gerrymandered a long time ago. They got nothing left with regard to what they can do. And know this, if California tries to gerrymander 5 more districts, listen, Texas has the ability to eliminate 10 Democrats in our state. We can play that game more than they can because they have fewer Republican districts in their states.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott, don't be a stranger. Thanks for popping by. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so here's what I want to take away from that. You notice how he asked him why you're doing this in 2025 in the middle of the decade. Why are you not waiting to 2030 like you're supposed to? I mean, generally you're supposed to wait. Why are you not waiting? Why are you doing this in 2025? And I will say this. This is why, after watching this and looking at some things, I want to thank Texas, because the conversation is now, not 2030. If we do not, let me just say this to you. Every one of you out there, I appreciate, but every one of you that talk about your local Board of Elections, every one of you that talk about Fulton County Board of Elections, all the above, you send me different articles. You talk about the voting system from paper, Dominion voting machines, whatever it may be that you bring up. If you don't correct this, it's irrelevant. If you fight to make sure you have 2 Republicans on your election board and you don't correct this, it's irrelevant. Now, I'm going to show you what I mean by that, and I want to thank Texas wholeheartedly. My whole heart goes out to Texas, actually, for bringing this up, putting the fight right there in front of us, all right? And so let's go with this right here. Now, number 83, Pritzker in Illinois is the governor of Illinois, and he is trying to run for president. He's lost a lot of weight. He created the Illinois, Texas Democrat safe space, right? Texas Democrat safe space in Illinois. And they went up there, and they're returning now because the special session in Texas, give me number 96, in Texas, Texas Senate passes GOP drawn redistricting map after Democrats walk out in protest. So in Texas, Governor Abbott, they are Republic, the Republic of Texas, not a state. Governor Abbott can call a special session every 30 days. So at the end of 30 days, if they don't have a quorum, the session expires. He can call another one. And the session expires, he can call another one, right? So 118. What have Texas Democrats accomplished, right? Texas GOP to start second special session if Democrats don't come back by Friday. Well, they're going to come back by Friday. They are. And they're going to start, then they won't start another special session. But number one, remember this, right? We talked about it, right? Remember this? And don't forget it. And this is where I'm going to leave the redistricting. The Supreme Court blocked the Trump administration's attempt to add citizenship question to the 2020 census. Now, Trump, through Texas, right, with what they're bringing up, the President of the United States has called for a new census to be taken. President Trump wants a new census to be taken and not count illegals. Well, I support that 100%. There's only one problem with that. Trump attempted that before, and this is what happened. Hold on, let me check and see if this is the one I want. Give me 66. Remember, wait a minute, before you do, remember the 2020 census, the court ruled that the administration could not ask the citizen question. Now, their argument is that the founding fathers said our census every 10 years was to determine, not citizens, how many actual people are in the United States. That's the claim, right? Trump wanted just citizens because this is what determines congressional districts, right? So give me number 66. Trump demands census excluding undocumented immigrants amid redistricting fight. So the fight comes up. Texas brings up the fight. Pritzker's over there in Illinois with his Democrat safe haven. They leave Texas. Hochul in New York's going to redistrict the claim, the threat. California is going to redistrict the threat. But the truth here is if we do nothing now, you have 4 years. I mean, I am telling you right now, 2030, if Trump doesn't do it now, you do realize the next census falls under the next president of the United States. 2028 is the next presidential election. The next census is 2030. So I went and I asked AI. I went to my AI and I said, will the 2030 census include all the illegals that have come into the country? So number 67. I asked this question in AI this morning, right? And I got a direct answer. Yes. I said, will the 2030 census include all the illegals that have come across the border? And I got yes, comma. Yes, it will. Yes, the 2030 census will count all people residing in the United States, including undocumented immigrants, as it has historically done. The Census Bureau is mandated to count everyone living in this country, regardless of citizenship or legal status, according to the U.S. Constitution. While there have been discussions and attempts to change this, the current legal framework and historical practice support the inclusion of all residents in a census count for what? I can't hear you. Portion. What's that big word? I can't say it. Maybe Diane could say it. I can't say that big word. But I can tell you what it means. I can't get that many, right? So there's the answer. Now, the whole fight over Texas. God bless Texas, right? Give me number 13. We have done this over and over. This is big. This is probably one of the largest things as Republicans we should be fighting right now. We should not be fighting over removing somebody based on picking a watermelon. Got it? I mean, I want a cheap watermelon just like the next guy or gal, right? We should not be arguing about, cutting the grass, getting someone to cut the grass. I want to still pay $5. Well, I know that was a joke. That's what I used to get, $5 to cut the grass. But, right, this should be the forefront. The population per congressional district in the United States averages 761,169 people. The number can fluctuate slightly based on the state. But this is how you divide. That's that big word, proportionment, divide. This is what the census is for. It tells you that, is that proportionment? The top is what it means. That's what it means. Now, if we went with 30 million, how many of you raise your hand think it was 50 million? Because I've had numbers of 50 million. How many think it's only 10? Right? Right? Only 10. Some say it's only 10. I'm going with 30. But number 15, if 30 million people get counted in this census that were not here last time, that equals 39 and a half new congressional seats in America. So there's a reason that Texas has done. It's not about, now they want you to believe that it's because, the fear of flipping the House in 2026. I don't agree with that. I have concerns that Democrats could take back the House in 2026. I do have those concerns. But I don't agree with why we're doing this now, why Texas is doing it now. I don't agree with that. I think it's to open our eyes during this election season and realize, one, you better put Republicans in place. Two, we better make these changes. I mean, we have to do something here, because give me number 66. Remember this, right? 66, remember this totally. Trump demands census excluding. I have to get that correct. Trump demands census excluding undocumented immigrants amid redistricting fight. You can complain all day long about your elections, but if you go through the 2030 census and these people are counted in here. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. Number 65, what say you about this? Do you think we should reclassify marijuana, making it legal in the U.S.? What happens Friday with Trump in Russia? Take a break.
At Days Chevrolet in Jasper, we're proud because for more than 65 years, we've built a legacy of trust for the families we serve. That's why 80% of our business comes from repeat customers and referrals. When you treat folks as well as we do, word is bound to get around. Days Chevrolet in Jasper, family first since 1959. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Good morning, Diane. Diane, I don't know about you, but boy, it was raining. I mean, it was raining. I really did. I almost text you like 6 a.m. and say, man, let's call this off. That rain, I could take a nap now. It was coming down. So anyhow, just saying. But we're here, and we will have the Georgia Hour at 10 o'clock on the dot. Diane, you took me in at 10:02 yesterday. Is there something going on here? Just 10:02? I had everybody set up for 10 o'clock, 10:02. I'm so fortunate that I'm not where she can throw things at me. 10 o'clock, the Georgia Hour. Be here on time. That includes everybody. Don't throw anything at me. All right, folks. All right, so Putin is going to meet with Trump on Friday. All right, everybody, they're all worked up. Right? So, number 51, these guys are all over in the UK or wherever they're at, and they're having a meeting over there with Zelensky. Look at it. They're all meeting today, and they're stressed out. What is Trump going to do? What will Trump say? Now, for this group over here, I kind of don't blame them. If I was sitting back and I was like, what's Trump going to say Friday? Because there's no telling what Trump's going to say, right? No telling. Now, I have told you this over and over, is Trump is meeting with Putin Friday in Alaska. Our State Department has been working and normalizing relations for some time now. They have. They don't want to talk about it. There was a meeting with Marco Rubio and what's his name? I forget his name. His equal over there in Russia. I thought I cropped it out, but I didn't. That's okay. But Marco Rubio had a meeting over there. They're normalizing relations right now, and these guys are a nervous wreck. They don't know what to do. Zelensky is no longer Winston Churchill to the world. They're trying to figure out. They're stressed. So Putin won. Russia won. The war is over. Putin is going to tell Trump, look, do you want me to push into Kiev? Because Ukraine does not have the manpower. They're done. They're finished. There's video of Ukrainians rounding up elderly, the senior citizens. All right. There's a video going around of them rounding up the mentally impaired. All right. Yes, putting them on the front lines. Ukraine does not have the people. They have lost the war. The Ukrainian people want this over with. Now, they might want a sovereign country and govern themselves, but the Ukrainian people also would like to have the total corruption that has always been in Ukraine cleaned out and the war ended, and for them to live in peace next to their neighbors, the Russians, who they have like a 400-year history with. So give me number 53. This is a Russian. Russia has won. Here's Viktor Orban, right? Is he from Hungary? He has won from the EU. He's not attending the meeting. Russia has won the war, Orban said. The only question is when Kiev Western backers will admit defeat. When are they going to admit they lost? There's no 100-year deal with the UK. You guys, we lost, guys. Ukraine lost. All right, so number 54, Zelensky claims Putin has won personal victory. He's crying his tears because Putin is meeting with Trump one-on-one. Russia's not going anywhere. There's no collapse of Russia around the corner. You will hear about their economy. One will tell you it's up, one will tell you it's down. China has their back. Iran, for what it's worth, has their back, right? Syria has their back. North Korea has their back, and Russia. They're not concerned. I mean, they literally have North Koreans in the area 30,000 that are prepared to go fight with them. And that's more than what Ukraine can scrape together. They're done. So Russia's not going anywhere. And if Putin wants to, he could create the total collapse. I would guess that somehow he will convey to Donald Trump, do you want me to go into Kiev and just take the whole thing over? Because I will. He's pressing forward today in Kiev. In Ukraine. Russia is pressing forward right now as we speak, just to say we're going to continue to press forward. And a ceasefire. So the untrusted French, the untrusted UK, the untrusting EU, so they can reload Zelensky with weapons of war to fire at Putin. I don't think he's going to go for it. So anyhow, Zelensky's crying that this guy won a personal victory. They're calling him a war criminal. There's places in the world that if he touches their soil, they're supposed to arrest him, but he's coming to America. Might be Alaska, but he's coming there. Meeting with our president. So now, 55, this is happening right now. Putin thanks Kim Jong-un for support in Ukraine conflict. All right? '52. Kim Jong-un to Putin. North Korea will unwaveringly support all decisions of Russian leadership. You gotta understand, the guy over there, you don't have to like Little Rocket Man. You could laugh at Little Rocket Man. He is a nuclear. That's a nuclear country. They have nuclear weapons. They have been practicing for a long time. When I say practicing, strapping a nuclear warhead to an intercontinental ballistic missile that would reach LA. Right? So the guy has nuclear weapons. Both guys in this So the bald guy has access to the most nuclear weapons in the world. Largest amount of nuclear weapons in the world is the one guy. The second guy has access to nuclear weapons. The second guy, the little chubby guy, sent 10,000 troops to fight in Russia with them and has committed another 30,000. So, I mean, let me put this one up. 56, right? Diplomat sees Zelensky fighting against Ukrainian people, not Russia. 57. Zelensky says Ukraine won't recognize results of upcoming Russian-U.S. summit. Whatever Trump comes out and says is going to happen, they won't recognize it. I will tell you this. When it's reported that he no longer exists, when it's reported that internally somebody in his own country assassinates him, I'm just saying, they got to be tired of this. Or when it's reported that he is ill and it's a fast-moving disease. 58, Orban of Hungary refused to join EU to make the statement concerning Ukraine. Number 61, this is from North Korea News. Putin discusses Ukraine war in phone call with Kim Jong-un ahead of the Trump summit. 63, the Moscow Times, Putin and Trump to meet in Alaska. Number 64, the Moscow Times, Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un vowed to strengthen ties ahead of Alaskan summit. Strengthen ties. So, with that being said, let me make sure I don't have, let's go with video 9. How is it being reported in Russia? Video 9.
Towns there. And the Defense Ministry releasing this video of ever more new recruits signing contracts with the military, undergoing medical checks, prepared to go into battle for Russia's president while Ukraine deals with serious manpower shortages. Putin will go to the summit in Alaska as a winner who holds the strategic initiative, this analyst says. The Russian armed forces are moving forward. Ukraine is retreating and leaving its territories. This is the most important factor that will influence the general background and the results of the negotiations. Just days ahead of the Trump-Putin summit, the Kremlin uncharacteristically silent. The last official comment coming last Friday, when Moscow vowed it hasn't changed its position on Ukraine, meaning no quick ceasefire, but demands for major territorial concessions as part of any long-term peace deal.
Give me 108. So Russia's not making a bunch of statements. They're not coming out making, they're not concerned to what Zelensky thinks, right? They're not adjusting their approach. They're moving forward. Zelensky rejects possibility of conceding Donbass to Russia. All right. Russian troops are present in these regions. This is Joe Biden. This is Joe Biden's war. I understand that. And I do understand Donald Trump said he would end this war on day 1. And we're 8 months in. And the reason he couldn't end it on day 1 is, you have all of these people from the UK and give me 98. And 103, here is 98. Rubio, there it is. Rubio speaks with Russian Lavrov ahead of Trump-Putin meeting. So Lavrov, Rubio's equivalent, they're having a meeting this week. Marco Rubio, they're having a meeting. I'm telling you, you're going to normalize relation. You don't like the word normalize, but you're going to normalize relations with Russia. And the next thing that's going to happen is Trump's going to plan a meeting with Rocket Man. Watch and see. And number 103, our position is not to accept North Korea as a nuclear power. Don't know how we get around that. Where we're at here right now in 2025. Russian state media promotes upcoming Trump-Putin summit as a win. And 104, here they are over at the UK. 26 EU nations say Ukraine must have a say in its future. And they're all stressed out over that. 105, here you go on 105. You have CNN, and they're still begging Zelensky to attend talks with U.S. and EU leaders in Berlin today. So the war is over. Putin has won. Russia has won. The media is still crying for Zelensky. They're still wearing his Ukrainian flag. We will leave it there for now. But here, I was wondering when this would come out, right? Now, if you go watch, there has been, let me lay this out, they're claiming there's a Russian security breach that resembles what they call the Russian security breach in the 2016 election. You can't make that up. But CNN, listen very, very close to what this lady says. Video 8. Remember what happened last time? Video 8.
Meeting, but I think the risk is that it's expected to be one-on-one, and of course memories are still fresh of President Trump's meeting with Putin in Helsinki in 2018, where he eventually sided with Putin over his own FBI of allegations of election interference. That, as well as alarm bells that were set off earlier this week when Trump seemed to criticize President Zelensky for not agreeing to cede territory. So this is a very delicate moment for Ukraine. Zelensky will have to stand by that position while still keeping Trump engaged. He does not want any further bad blood after that Oval Office spat in February. European leaders also very delicate, wanting to lock in their position. And all of this while Russia is trying to expand its position on the front lines with what we see to be something of a new push to the north of that key strategic town of Pokrovsk on the Eastern Front, MJ.
There's concern. Remember last time, Helsinki, when Trump sided with Putin over our FBI concerning Russian interference in our election? I say go to Just the News. Let me grab this before we go to the Georgia Hour. I want to recommend you go to Just the News with John Solomon. Spend your time over there. Don't get caught. Give me 43. Don't get caught in a bunch of nonsense. That's my opinion. I will use that. Here, 43. And then give me Democrat whistleblower told FBI that Schiff okayed leaking classified intel to hurt Trump. 74. Comey media mole. We know Comey went to his friend, the professor at Columbia University, and leaked information to the New York Times, right? Comey's media mole told FBI he shaped Russian narrative, needed discount to deny intel leak. And 75, remember Christopher Wray? I told you about how we ended up with Christopher Wray, House Judiciary Chair Jordan blast ex-FBI Director Wray for keeping Schiff intel leak from Congress. So I suggest you go look at that. And give me number 76. We'll wrap up with this because we have to go to the Georgia Hour. So the CDC shooting yesterday, right here, you vote with new revelations reported about Senator Adam Schiff. Will he be indicted and convicted? So that's just the news. All right, so the CDC shooting, take that down. There was, 500 rounds? Give me 120. And, wait a minute, 101 and then 120. I just want to give you what is getting ready to happen here. 101, all right, CNN. Nearly 500 rounds fired, nearly 200 hit the CDC building. So just pay attention to the chyron. There will be, who needs 500 rounds for anything? Watch this right here. Watch this. This is coming. And then give me number 120. All right. There you go, 120. CDC shooting reignites gun safety debate. Watch this coming your way. Now, inflation. Thought I had, give me 121. So the media cannot report this. It's upsetting them so bad because tariffs, we're supposed to be in a position right now to where we're in recession and so many things happening. Give me number. Now, if you're president of the United States of America, you have to take blame. Period. You're president of the United States. Number 89, the U.S. national debt reaches record 37 trillion, the Treasury report. So we got a national debt. Now, number 90, the U.S. July budget deficit up 20% year over year despite record Trump tariff income. So here's the point. This is Congress. This is Senate and the House. They could control this spending. They could stop this spending. They have this data. Number 91 from Reuters. U.S. deficit grows to $291 billion in July despite tariff revenue surge. So let's stay with that for just a second. Now, deficit means we are still printing $291 billion more than we take in. Still, despite tariff revenue. So our deficit spending, this is Congress. This is 535 members. This is Congress. And they put any president, Democrat, Republican, no matter who you are, they put them in a position, shut the government down, whatever. Now, look at this. Congress, now what Trump can do by himself. Number 92. Tariffs bring in record $27.7 billion in July as Trump calls haul incredible for our country. Now, the tariffs, he did all by himself. He did not have to go to Congress, right? They're battling him now that Congress should have been in charge. Congress should have been consulted. They're battling him now that Congress should be the only one make this decision. But keep in mind, inflation is not going through the roof. He's bringing all these countries to the table, and he brought in $27.7 billion. This is all him, his decision, executive order. But then you go over here, and you see what happens when it takes Congress to do it. Just wanted to show you that. Just wanted to show you that. So give me 93. U.S. July tariff revenue jump fails to halt the gap of Congress. Right? Can't halt the gap. Now, do you think we should reclassify marijuana? Let's see, we got about 5 or 6 minutes and we will return with the Georgia Hour. Let's take a break.
At Dave's Chevrolet in Jasper, we're proud because for more than 65 years, we've built a legacy of trust for the families we serve. That's why 80% of our business comes from repeat customers and referrals. When you treat folks as well as we do, word is bound to get around. Dave's Chevrolet in Jasper, family first since 1959. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
All right, folks, we are back. I am your host, BKP. It is time for the Georgia Hour. I'm your host, BKP. It is time for the Georgia Hour on voiceofruralamerica.com. Hi, Diane. How are you? Now, I asked you earlier, and Diane, I believe blowing smoke. You asked me a question, blowing smoke. I did watch the video you sent me. I watched the video you sent me, and I agree. I say blowing smoke, but I don't have time to analyze exactly everything that your chairman is talking about. And the point is I asked earlier this morning, and I want some more information from you. If you are in Georgia and your county, all right, the state of Georgia, Diane, what did I say? HB 581, correct? Now, the state of Georgia, I don't have the graphic, but we put a constitutional amendment on our Georgia state constitution concerning trying to curtail, stop, slow down in the tracks property tax. All right. Now, the American people on a whole cannot handle this any longer. All right. We many of us in a couple weeks, it's August, next week or week after, we'll be right there, and we can't wait for the kickoff of high school football. And we love high school football. We like our high school football coaches, and we love the kids and everything that goes with it here in Georgia. So when they attack me, all right, it's totally wrong. I love high school football in Georgia. But what I do know is the majority of us will go stand in these new refurbished or nice stadiums that have been built, and we'll look down on a minimal of about $1 million of artificial turf that has been spent out of tax money. And then we'll look off to the left to see what the score is, or an instant replay on a $30,000, $60,000, $130,000, if not more, jumbotron for high school sports. The old days of going there and watching the plays with no instant replay and looking, and Coke in Georgia, Coca-Cola, is that correct? Coca-Cola sponsoring your scoreboard. And those lights, those bright lights in the rain of, putting the score and where the ball is on the hash mark, that day is over. I mean, that's gone, right? So as we look at $69, $67 million new high school football stadiums, as we look at courthouses in the millions and millions of dollars, as we look at our local all across the state of Georgia, we look at local government buildings, new government buildings, government complexes that are millions of dollars. So, do you realize you build these multi-million-dollar government complexes in Georgia to house the people, to assess the property that you work your ass off and pay for so they can tax you. And then over at the other office of the commissioners, they could set a millage rate that they could tax you. And over in the other office, the really nice office over there with all these people working in there with the overhead needed is the tax commissioner to collect it from you or take your property, whichever you choose, right? On and on and on, and it just does not stop. But you and I know that, right? So we have a bill, and was it 63? It's in the 60%, and that includes Democrats and Republican, bipartisan, may I say. That bipartisan bill, constitutional amendment. And now what they say is, you know what? People didn't understand what they were voting for. Okay. 60-some% plus said, hey, let's put a freeze, let's curtail, let's look at how we're charged property taxes, but then we're going to give an opt-out clause. Instead of opting out, it should have been the Board of Education, your local city, or your local commissioners in your county. It should have just been called the I don't care what the voters said clause. It should have. I don't care what the voters said, because you know what? Their actions, and I'm going to leave names out, their actions are, I don't care what the voters said. That should be their billboard. Re-elect me. I don't care what the voters said. I did what I wanted to. So, moving right along. I don't know how that started. I have asked you, is your county, your Board of Education, your little city, are they raising your taxes? Are they raising your property taxes in your area? I want to start calling all of them out, like Walton County, Gilmer County. Are they raising your taxes? Because I opened up the show this morning. Remember back when a Republican did not raise taxes? Right? Remember a Republican, right? A Republican that raised taxes was out. Remember that day? If you had a Republican and they raised taxes, it was over. They were gone the very next election. Gone. Not anymore, because these are Republican impersonators. They're not Republicans. In the state of Georgia, in 4 years, Brian Kemp, the governor of Georgia, has raised spending with the House and Senate, right? Now, Blake Tillery is running for lieutenant governor, head of appropriations over on the Senate side. Every one of them are included. $10 billion in 4 years spending. But I guess they needed the money, right? They needed the money because they fully funded education. They needed the money because they needed to increase school security and school safety. When you start looking at the legislation, when you start looking at all the legislation that passes in Georgia, I'm going to throw a percent out here and see if it sticks. 80% of all legislation that passes in the state of Georgia, 80%. That's my data. Doing my own data. 80% of all legislation that passes in the state of Georgia is to lead you to feel safe, secure, and that they provided you a new service, when the truth of that is they line the pockets of companies and upstarts that their friends own back home and put it in their pockets. But your kids are safe at school. But you just don't know who owns the technology company that provided the new safety equipment for your school. That's not the way I plan to start the Georgia Hour. But let's go with this. Number 77. Just when you thought it was safe to go outside and not spot, an albino rhino, well, the AJC makes sure that they put the albino rhino front and center this morning, right? Now, enough said. That's the albino rhino. His name's Brant Frost V. If he gets convicted, if he is named, indicted, gets convicted, he needs about an hour a day in the yard. He does. He needs some fresh sunlight. He needs some vitamin D. Anyhow, moving right along, did son of embattled First Liberty founder resign from Coweta County GOP? Now, they're watching every day, and things have gotten quiet. And somebody said to me yesterday, don't you think things have gotten awful quiet? Well, I do know this. From the top down, it's been laid out that they want things to become quiet at your county Republican Party, your district. Let's get focused on our elections. Let's not talk about it. Let's tamp it down, all the above. So they're trying to go hush-hush here on what's happened at First Liberty Building and Loan, the Frost, Coweta County family cult there. But they can't. They can't, because I've said this over and over. For some reason, the Frost family feel invincible, probably because they have something. Just saying. Probably because they may have something on people to where they don't care. So I didn't ask this. Give me number. I want this back. I want 70, and then I want you to go to 77. So I get a notification this morning. I'm preparing for the show. And Greg Bluestein at the AJC. The AJC is not going to let it go. They're not. And if it was important to wait, right, to see the outcome of the investigation, for some reason, Brant Frost IV, the dad, is the only one that's named at this time. But the AJC is making sure you're aware that this guy right here, Brant Frost V, was fully involved. Now, the Coweta County GOP website still lists Frost V as the chair and includes a statement urging members to let due process take its course regarding the situation surrounding the family business of our chairman. There you go. So go back to 77. So this morning at about 6:45, the AJC puts this out. Did the embattled First Liberty founder resign from Coweta County GOP? So before we go back to 77 and 78, remember this. Number 9, this is the document they're going to talk about, the statement from the chairman, Josh McCoon, on July 31st. Now, your county, I'm going to be very clear, can write the rules almost any way they want, but there's some exceptions that are, my understanding, statewide. We're going to talk about that, because what the Frost family, because we're going to show you, because Katie Frost is district chair over Coweta County. Krista Frost, Mama Frost, is second vice chair. So the Frost family has manipulated the Coweta County Republican Party for a long time, and they've written these way out in left field rules to control the party that are not accurate. And we'll get into that in a minute. But here you go. Here's the statement as of July 31st, where Josh McCoon, the chairman of the Georgia Republican Party, today I have accepted the resignation of Brant Frost V from the state committee. He was on the state committee, and that is under the leadership of the state party. So Josh McCoon can accept that resignation. Now, keep in mind, there's an actual resignation. He has also informed me that he will be resigning Now listen to this. Listen to this. Because I've had some conflict over this, and I've had some people tell me that's not the way it works. And I'm going to call flat out bullshit, and I'm going to go with the actual writing in the letter. He has also informed me that he will be resigning as chairman of Coweta County Republican Party with an election to choose his replacement to be held within the next 30 days. Now, they're going to tell you within the next 30 days. And they're going to tell you they're within the next 30 days of July 31st. They're tricky, they're stinky, they're smelly, they're nasty, they're evil, they're disgusting, they're corrupt, they're liars. I don't know of anything else right now, but I'll think of some more later. They all are, right? Because they're going to tell you it's within the next 30 days. Now, I'm going to break down what really happens here. Because I get tired of bullshit. I really do. I can't stand. These are corrupt-ass people. And probably what angers me the most is I used to be public enemy number one in Georgia, and they've taken my place. I hate being second. All right, so that being said, he has also informed me he will be resigning with an election to choose his replacement. This will ensure that Coweta Party chairman has ample time to concentrate on the important public service commissioner race in the fall. Now, so you have that, right, within the next 30 days. So I'm going to assume, you always get your ass in trouble when you assume, but I'm going to assume right now that Josh McCoon is under the impression on August 1st. All right? Now, on August 1st, within 30 days, August 1st, all right, that he's going to resign that day. And they're going to follow the general rules. Now, they're going to split hairs, but keep in mind it says within the next 30 days. So I'm going to tell you what has to happen and what was supposed to happen, and that maybe the chairman of the Georgia Republican Party thought was going to happen on that day is the reason it's written this way. And remember that morning when Alan, we'll show you in a minute, stepped up and said he was going to be stepping aside and it all stepping back for now. And it all went up in the air like he resigned. And I told everybody, what did I tell you? That's why you tuned in. I tell you, Brant Frost V did not resign, right? I called people, stop. He did not resign. I'm telling you right now, he did not resign. And then just like that, woo, he stepped right back in. His picture disappeared on the website on one day and it came right back in. I even sent Greg Bluestein because they wrote that he resigned. And I sent the AJC a message. I tagged him on Twitter and I said he didn't resign. So here you go. Let's go back. Now here's what's frustrating. And the reason I keep doing this is because the 3rd district, these people have control of an entire district in the state of Georgia. The 3rd district, Brian Jack, the congressman, his district, they have control of as far as the Georgia Republican Party is concerned. And they have power over other areas of the party across the state. So you have that. Now, keep in mind, number 18, we have shown you every day. This is what the website looks like this morning. All right. This is number 18. I got to get past this because I've got some stuff on state senate and I've got some stuff on some other things in Georgia. But we have Chairman Brant Frost, the executive officers. And then you have Krista Frost. We're just not going to let them pull a corrupt stunt in Coweta County in the 3rd district. We're just not going to. You may have hidden, I say that, the Ponzi scheme from people, maybe. And it just came out. But this is something we're well aware of, and we're not going to let you pull any more political stunts. No. So the mother is the second vice chair. Now, you don't hear about the mother resigning. Not at all. They plan to control this. So this morning, he is still the chairman, and she is still second vice chair, right? So give me the statement, number 19. Remember, they put up, give our chairman, their family, give them the time and space. Respectfully ask the members for space and time for this investigation, all right, without speculation. I'm not speculating anything, Brant Frost V. I'm not speculating anything, Katie Frost or Christopher. No speculation. I promise you. I'm reading articles. I'm listening to G. Hayes, the receiver, right? I'm listening to Gregory Hayes, the receiver, say the people that are contacting them are 70 and 80 years old. I'm listening to people say the lawsuits that are already out there to recoup hundreds and millions of dollars. I'm listening to it say that we thought it was 300 people and it's well over, possibly a lot more. 35 states, other states are investigating, other agencies are investigating. So I'm not giving any speculation. I sincerely tell you, to the entire Frost family, I'm speculating nothing. I'm only going on reporting and things that I see are accurate in the reports from the receiver. Now, that being said, so that leads us up to this morning, 77, right? So this morning, embattled. Did son of embattled First Liberty founder resign from Coweta County GOP? AJC going to keep this alive. Number 78. A few days ago, Georgia GOP Chair Josh McCoon announced that Brant Frost, the son of embattled founder of First Liberty Building and Loan, was resigning from the party's state committee and as chair. But it's not quite clear that Frost Fifth has stepped down yet from the latter post. The Coweta County GOP website still lists him as the chair and includes a statement urging members to let the process take its course. McCoon said records show Frost Fifth resigned on August 1st from the state committee. Coweta GOP officials didn't return calls about whether an election had been scheduled to replace him. Keep this in mind, though McCoon said he was told one would take place within 30 days. Now, so let's focus on that for just a minute. They don't return any phone calls. So I get a text message. Diane, are you able to go to Coweta County Republican Party and put that website up? Can you put that up? Can you find it and put it up? I know I didn't tell you we were going to do that. If you could, it would be greatly appreciated. Now, so here's what's supposed to happen. Because I actually attend a GOP in my local area where our chairman, not due to scandal, I want to be clear, had to resign. And this is the standard, and this is not, backing up Josh McCoon, but I understand the statement. So what Josh McCoon to me is implying, I can't speak for him, is implying that he talked to Brant. I'm just going to paraphrase. He talked to Brant, right? And this is their website, right? That they talked to Brandt and the 5th, and he resigned. And he told me he was going to resign. Like, I thought it was going to be on that day, and they were going to hold an election to get a chairman in place because of the Public Service Commission. We needed someone in place to handle that election coming up. That's the impression. Now, the reason the 30-day is there. So let me tell you how it's supposed to work. And it's not working this way in Coweta County. And they're going to tell you the rules. And they're going to say that's why Brandt, he's slippery. He's slippery. He's slimy. He's just a slimy, no bad words. Okay? Slimy. Just this scum, slimy. And when Brandt talks to you, that's the 5th. He uses different words to try to manipulate the meaning of what he's putting out, like within. Oh, he probably said, yeah, we'll have one within 30 days. They're going to come back and say, hey, even the chairman put out in a statement, we're having it within 30 days. But that's not correct. All right? Now, what is supposed to happen in every county GOP, every organized county GOP in Georgia? It may not even be in their rules, but this is what's supposed to happen, and that's why 30 days is in that statement. A chairman, for any reason whatsoever, that cannot complete their duties and continue their duties, they're to resign. Now, that could take place. You could have a special called meeting. It should, when I say should, it should happen at a special called meeting if necessary, or the next meeting. So at the next meeting, you resign. You present your resignation, and the executive committee accepts your resignation. It's just a formality, but they accept your resignation. Then what the executive committee does at that time, the secretary records your resignation, puts it on record. At that time, the first vice chair should be the first vice chair, because that would be the acting chairman at that time. The first vice chair should look at the body, the members at the meeting, and say, at this time, we are putting out a call for an election for a new chairman at our next meeting, 30 days from today. Now, you could have in your rules that you got to submit your name in advance. You may not have in your rules that you have to submit your name, and you could show up on that night and you take nominations from the floor. You get a second. This is the way it works. I have run elections. So at that night, your first vice chair says, okay, we've accepted the resignation of our chairman. We wish you well. Thank you for your service. Everybody applauds. Oh, boom, boom, boom. I've been there. Then your first vice chair calls for an election at the next meeting, at the next called meeting for chairman. Now, if your rules say that you have to put your name forward, if your rules say that your county has a committee you have to meet with, whatever, to qualify, that could happen in your county. But the next meeting, you have to open it up. You have to open it up, and you have to make nominations. And you say, well, they meet the requirements. Yes. You get a second or whatever, or you don't need a second or whatever, and you got them on the ballot. Then you give them all 5 minutes to speak. These could be different than the rules. Your rules could have 3 minutes or 15 minutes. Give them all 5 minutes to speak, and then you have an election. Now, right here, as you can see, our next meeting, this is the public, our next meeting will be September 13th at 10 a.m. So I got a message yesterday, and we're confirming everything. I got a message yesterday. This is not the right, I got different devices. So I got a message yesterday telling me, oh, Lord. And I can't hang tight, Baba Louie. We do have a county committee meeting scheduled for August 28th at 6 p.m. Supposed to be open to the public. But I think it's not on the website. It is not. So the August 28th, 6 p.m. meeting that they're calling is not publicly on the website. It says if you go on there and you're a member of Coweta County Republican Party or a member of the 3rd District, anything, the next meeting is September 13th. This is saying it's August 28th. We do not have an agenda yet, but we've been told one is forthcoming. Someone, I'm not going to put the name out today, has announced their candidacy to run as chairman. No others have stepped up to run. So, now go down on the website a little bit. Go down. And there it is. That's the statement. Now go up. I want to make sure you know that we're not like making things up. Go to About. Hover over that. More. Hover over. Yes. Go over to Leadership. Go down. There you go. Chairman Brant Frost. Second Vice Chair Krista Frost. So when is she going to resign? Also the mother. So take that down. I have explained how it is supposed to publicly work for the county party. And we have our eyes on this slippery, slimy group of people. I say group. If you're down there and your name's not Frost and you're not following the rules, and you're not doing right by your leadership, you're just wrong. Got it? So take that down. We'll move along. We have a governor candidate, Burt Jones, has been endorsed by Donald J. Trump. We are looking for when Donald J. Trump will endorse, if he's going to endorse, Mike Collins. By the way, number 7, let me just show you. This is the Coweta County Frost family cult. The guy in the plaid jacket is dad, who is named Brant Frost IV in the First Liberty Building and Loan. Now they have, I don't want to say they. Clear that up. Someone is carrying their water and is attacking me. I have idle threats. I better shut up. Enough's enough. So, just letting you know, take that down. Now, so we are waiting to see if someone's going to endorse Mike Collins. So let me just say this. The race right now for governor, we don't know if that's set yet. We know there's been several come out for lieutenant governor, secretary of state. And along with Secretary of State, we know that Attorney General and so forth. But U.S. Senate, let's beat John Ossoff first and foremost. We know this. Number 8, the Kemp family. The Kemp family, they do not support Mike Collins. Brian Kemp called Mike Collins the 10th district. Actually, their family's congressman. They live in Athens, Clark County. They live in the 10th district where Mike Collins is their congressman. We understand Marty Kemp. We just understand. We've been told Marty Kemp's not real fond of Mike Collins. So the family is not on the Mike Collins bandwagon, which means they're not on Trump's bandwagon. They are totally defiant. Donald Trump has never meant enough to this family to get along. Never meant enough to this family to get along at any time, Donald Trump being president of the United States. Marty Kemp said she would write her own husband's name in before she would vote for Donald Trump. So they're not supporting Mike Collins. Brian Kemp told Trump, I'm not supporting Mike Collins. Brian Kemp called Mike Collins and said, I'm not supporting you. I've got my own candidate, basically, and they moved on. Now you have number 11. This is Amy Porter. So we're told that Amy Porter, the one daughter over the shoulder, there it is, and Brian Kemp, that Amy Porter has some business partners. Let me get that correct. I'm going to say partners because I've been told one, and then someone said yesterday it's two, but that the hardworking American PAC, that they are a filter, a money filter for donations. This is what we're told, that they have a business that they're filtering and skimming off the top. This young lady, along with the Kemps, or the total, how the split, when they get back in the dark room and do the split, works out, they could pull down $10 to $15 million out of this campaign, is what we're told. So, number 10, keep this in mind. This is Derek Dooley. Never ran for anything. That's okay. But Brian Kemp has bet everything in Georgia and on Derek Dooley being the candidate that can, and Debbie Dooley is backing Brian Kemp. John Fredericks is backing Brian Kemp. They're all backing Derek Dooley over and above Mike Collins. Now, like Mike Collins, don't like Mike Collins, you will not outwork Mike Collins. I got to give it to him. I'd like to run against him just to see if I could outwork the guy, because that's the way I am. I just love the thrill of the battle of outworking you. Mike, I'm not running, so let's not do that, okay? But I'd like to do it just to see if I could outwork the guy, because the guy is working. He's asking for the vote. Like him, dislike him, I've heard stories. He's asking for the vote. Boom. Now, Derek Dooley is endorsed by Brian Kemp, meaning if you are supporting Derek Dooley, you're not on board with President Trump. You have turned. I'm going to get the argument over and over. You have turned on Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, if you're already in the tank and supporting Derek Dooley. Now, so I played this earlier, but a lot of you don't tune in until the Georgia Hour. So yesterday, this was very funny because Dooley, don't forget, number 41, this guy here, he has locked all of his social media up. He's locked it all up. His personal. He does not want you to see that he is a never Trumper. He doesn't want you to see that he didn't vote for Trump in 2016, 2020. He doesn't want you to see that he's never given Trump any money. He doesn't want you to see that when he lived in a state that you had to register to vote party affiliation, that his wife voted registered Republican, but he did not. He doesn't want you to see any of that. He doesn't want you to see the only money he has ever given to a political campaign is $5,500 that I'm aware of to Brian Kemp. He doesn't want you to see any of that. They're going to pretend over and over on a daily basis that he's on board with Donald Trump. He supports Donald Trump, and he's the guy for the job. So yesterday, this was humorous. We're going to show it to you one more time. We're going to show it to you the second time or the first time. This actually was very funny. Number 79. So, dueling videos. As a college football coach, right? Georgia Republican U.S. Senate candidate Derek Dooley said he would often show his players video of their performance to explain why they weren't getting much playing time. So he said, look, in coaching, we have a saying, your film is your resume. Now, we're going to play this because this is a little lengthy. It's about 2 minutes. I didn't want to do the whole thing, but we're going to do it again, Diane, because I think you got to listen to the whole thing. So listen to him explain how he judges your film to be your resume and if you're a winner or loser. Give me video 20.
Good morning. Had a great day in Savannah yesterday, and we're heading down the road to Statesboro. And a lot of these meetings get asked the same question: how are we going to get this seat back? What's it going to take to beat Jon Ossoff? And my first answer is simple: just watch the tape, watch the film. We have an old saying in football, and it applies to players and coaches. I've learned this the hard way and the good way, that your film is your resume. Your film's your resume. And what does that mean? Like a player comes in and he says, "Coach, I'm bigger, I'm faster, I'm stronger. I don't understand why I'm not playing. I'm better than this other guy." And we go, "Oh, are you? Well, let's sit down and watch the tape." And we turn it on, and here you are getting beat, and here's the other guy doing pretty good. Because the eye in the sky doesn't lie. And we have that same eye on Jon Ossoff. We have a 4-year record of everything the Biden administration did, and he sat there and rubber stamped it. Crickets. Didn't say a word. Whether it was the lawlessness that was happening in our cities, not back in law and order, whether it was pouring the border open with millions of unchecked illegal immigrants wreaking havoc on our communities, whether it was pumping trillions of dollars into our economy, and now we're dealt with all this inflation for several years, failing to protect women's sports, a laundry list of things. And now there's even more film on total resistance to everything the Trump administration is trying to do to create progress. For example, voted to raise taxes for every American family by $2,500. Whether it was voting to give taxpayer-funded health care to illegal immigrants, whether it was voting against border funding. All right, the list, the hits, they keep coming. Let me tell you, though, he's a typical politician. And so he's going to say a bunch of things. He's going to sound good. He's going to tweet out things. But never forget, your actions speak so loudly, I can't hear what you say.
Your actions speak so loudly, I can't hear what you say. The eye in the sky does not lie. The video shows you're getting beat. Just watch the tape. The film is your resume. So this is what is going around after that. It's really, it's very funny. Video 20. This is when he is the head coach of Tennessee. The end of the game, he has the win in his pocket. He's playing LSU in Baton Rouge. Video 20.
Can you believe it? Illegal participation on the defense.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
This game is not over. Jefferson will go under center in a wild end here in Baton Rouge. Pitch, Ridley. Touchdown! LSU! A miracle! A miracle in Baton Rouge!
Just saying. The eye in the sky doesn't lie. I had to roll the tape. You got to watch the tape. Folks, you have to watch the tape. So take that down. I can't support the guy. I know Collins has put out a grassroots, every county a grassroots list that they're working with already. 159 counties. His campaign is running, and we used to call it running and gunning. I'm going to be careful. Those are my words. And give me this right here. 73. The guy's got 2 signs. All right. This is in Muskogee County. I think Muskogee County crosses, does it not cross a little in the 3rd district and a little in the 2nd district? Isn't there a line at Muskogee County? But anyhow, He's got his MAGA hat on. He's got his Mike Collins. I can show you Congressman Collins is doing a really good job of making sure that he has his signs. He's got pictures of people taking the signs home, and he's hitting everywhere all over the state. So Dooley, I want to say this. I'm not in favor of Dooley, but yes, you have an option of Buddy Carter. So it sounds like I'm narrowing it to two. You have an option of Buddy Carter, and then you have Reagan Box. I think she's up in Walker County. I do know she's in the 14th district, but we shall see all the candidates that go to qualifying. Now, that being said, let me give you this one here. Don't forget, number 5, Burt Jones will be having a kickoff event. He's already endorsed by President Donald Trump, right? And that is August 26th. Then number 12, this is the Republican Party RNC National Committee woman for Georgia, Amy Kramer. The RNC, Republican National Committee will have their summer meeting in Atlanta, August 19th through 22nd. Now, maybe I'll say it at a later time. There's a reason that I think the summer meeting was scheduled in Atlanta. I think Michael Whatley, this is just what I think. Tell us what you think. I'll tell you what I think. This is what I think. It's good. It's good reading, right? It's a nice read. But I think that Josh McCoon, the chairman of the Georgia Republican Party, really had his little pea-picking heart set. And I think his little Steel Magnolia dream girl down there, what's her name? What is her name? Jacqueline. And I even think Candace Taylor would have showed up. But I think he had one of his 7 mountain heartstrings set on August 19th in Atlanta. I just really do. I think he had his heart set on it. I think there's a reason they rigged with the complicit Cross family. Not Cross. That'd be David. He didn't do that, did he? No, that wasn't David. That was the guy who ran against him. Oh, now I get it. That's the guy that ran an honest campaign and asked for your vote, whether you agreed with it or not. That's the guy that showed the delegates and the Republicans of Georgia the FEC reports and Josh McCoon using the credit card for his own personal expenses. There was a lot that came out in that election, but if you have everything rigged from the Frost family and everything rigged, so I'm just saying, we had a rigged election. We had a rigged convention. It was all set up. And I think Josh had his heart set on this RNC meeting on August 9th. That's what I think. And I think if there was not as much noise about the convention, because immediately after the convention, if you want to call it the 30%, whatever you want to call it, but immediately after the convention, the RNC was getting a stack of letters, a stack of emails. Whatley was getting tagged. The RNC chairman was getting tagged over and over and over. I think once you pile that, then you pile complaints come into the RNC concerning our convention. And then on top of that, 100, boom, the blow up, right? The Frost family First Liberty Building and Loan, $140 million Ponzi scheme explosion, right? I think there was just no way to make Josh's dreams come true on August 19th. I don't think so. I think there was just a little too much baggage to fulfill their hopes and dreams. That's what I think. So anyhow, now that I've said all that, for what it's worth, the RNC summer meeting will be August 19th through 22nd. They will vote on a new RNC chair. If you want an update about the RNC, you want to talk about upcoming election of the RNC, plans for 2026, tonight in Metro Atlanta, I don't know how this is going. I have not spoke to Amy Kramer, but tonight in Metro Atlanta, the Marietta Fish Market will be at 6 p.m. And tomorrow night, Blue Ridge, Bear Claw Vineyard in Blue Ridge, tomorrow night at 7. So that's happening. Now, let me see what else I have here. We are all still wondering what in the world, we're all still wondering and this is the guy right here, number 26, Diane. This is the guy right here running for RNC chair. He has been endorsed by President Trump. And we're just asking him, we're asking Joe Gruder as the next RNC chair to open a full investigation because of what happened with the Frost family, what happened with all the committees, what happened at our convention. We're asking for a full investigation. We want a committee at the RNC to we'll call it subpoena. I would like to hear Josh McCoon, Susie Voiles, and the other guy, you know his name out there. We won't throw it out right now. I'd like for you to have to under oath actually tell us what was that meeting the morning before. Now, I understand the individual, let me get this correct, the individual that was running the software for the clickers, maybe that's who it was, but I'd like to know what that little get-together was, or maybe you guys can, under oath, explain that to the RNC committee. There's a list of other things, right? So, that being said, that's who's running there. Now, Fulton County Board of Elections, we are waiting 27. We are waiting. Some of you may have gotten an update at the Pickens County Republican Party meeting last night from Jason Frazier. The judge said you have to mandamus. He put a court order in place to Fulton County that they had to put Jason Frazier and Julie Adams had to re-up her term, put them on the Board of Elections, and the Fulton County commissioners just bypassed it like it didn't exist. So the Republican Party of Fulton County is saying, look, you're in contempt of court. You need to honor this court order. So number 30, that will be right here. Number 30 in the Superior Court of Fulton County. That will be Friday at 1:30 in the courtroom. Senior Judge of Superior Court David Emerson will hear this Friday. This is going to be a big case come Friday. Let me see what else I have left here just to make sure I'm not bypassing something that I already had pulled out for this morning. Remember number 71. Remember the Rivian deal, right? Well, Rivian, this is out this morning. Rivian, the electric truck company that originally had Ford invested, that originally had George Soros money invested. Rivian said it would employ 7,500 workers and invest $5 billion in Georgia plant. It was originally going to be completed in 2024, but was delayed multiple times. Officials now say vertical construction will begin 2026 with vehicle production of 2028. So here is the thing. Georgia government agencies seek $540K in legal fees from Rivian critics. This, you want to go look at the extension of the abatement, the tax deals, the critics. I'm going to look at this closer this afternoon, and we'll follow up on that tomorrow. Here's an article you can follow up on. Number 80, election law challenge. They're still taking us to court, folks. Number 80, Georgia state officials and civil rights groups will be back in court today to argue that provisions of the SB 202, right, election law. The big issue is the provision that bans people from handing out food and water to voters standing in line at the polling places. So they're still upset they can't get a sandwich or a bottle of water while waiting to vote. Just saying. I'm your host, BKP. We will be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. If your county, city, or Board of Education is raising property taxes, please send us an email. Can you put our information up? Please send us an email, okay? Send us the information, who it is. Give us some details on it if you could. You have Diane. You have my email there. If your city, county, Board of Education opted out of HB 581, let us know. Also, anything in your area, if it pertains to Georgia, this is the Georgia Hour. Please let us know if we ever do a story here and we need some updates. Please let us know if there's something happening in your local Republican Party in your area that we need to make people aware of. Let us know that. If you have a city council meeting or anything that's going on that's unusual, let us know that. And through these elections, it's opening up a lot of state Senate, state House, and others across the state as maybe commissioners are going to step up to run for state House, open county commission seat. Let us know what seats are open and who you have announcing to run in those areas, because we'll start expanding this information so we can get everything out to you, the voters. All right, folks, it's 11. I'm out of here, Diane. I'll see you in the morning. Thank you for everything, Diane. Thank you out there, everybody. I'm out.